Pete and Kymba for breakfast.
On Mix.
Do not get out of your car. Do not turn your radio off. We have no idea what's going to happen here and how this is going to go down.
Have
but
you
if
got your finger on the dump button?
No.
You need to be ready to get out
'cause
just in
It's
case.
just an honest, open chat about how these two people feel about each other. We're going to find out why this has happened and where it's come from. So, on May 24, at this stage, 500 people are going to be staging a protest on the front lawn of vegan activist Tash Peterson's home here in Perth. It's been organised by a bloke by the name of Ben Darcy, who we've just found out is just your average bloke who's just sick of Tash's poop, and he's a Sydney resident who's flying over for this in May.
He's not even from Perth.
Nah, and Ben and Tash both join us on the phone now. Ben, good morning, mate.
Good morning, how's it going?
Yeah,
And
good.
Tash, hi, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
So I guess we start this off by going, Ben, you are organising a public protest suggesting that more than 500 people are going to go and rock up to Tash's front lawn. Why are you doing this?
Because she's a pest and most WA residents are sick of her. And frankly, I'm sick of her targeting people's businesses. It's not right. It's not fair. Like, people have a right to do what they want to do. You're never going... Engaging in the protest, the type of protest she engages in, is never going to change public opinion. What she's actually doing is creating more business for people like Butcher and John Mountain at Fire and places like that. Like John Mountain, his restaurant's booked out for the next 2 months now.
So why are you complaining, Ben? Why are you creating a protest of a bunch of strangers to her home?
There are ways and means of going about getting your message across, and the way Tash engages is not the way to do it. I have no issue with lawful protest. What I have an issue with is when you start targeting people's businesses, trying to have them, which is her goal. Her goal is to try and cause that company, butcher shop, whatever it be, to lose money, to lose business, and to get less people shopping there. That means the business goes bust. That means people can't afford to feed their families.
Well, Tash
right.
is on the
That's not
phone
fair.
with us right now. And Tash, is that your goal? Is he right?
No, my goal is to reach consumers and make them aware of the animal slavery and Holocaust industries and choose the vegan options. And I hope one day the very businesses that I protest become vegan. And yes, that includes the butchers. There are vegan butchers that do exist, and that is my goal, to spread awareness and be a voice for non-human animals who are the victims of rape, torture, enslavement, abuse and murder, not only in the meat, dairy and egg industries, but other animal exploitation industries.
Tash, how do you feel about the idea that this random bloke has just decided to throw a protest at your house and has a bunch of people coming to your private place?
It doesn't really bother me at all. In fact, I'm going to disrupt their protest because they think they're giving me a taste of my own medicine, and they're trying to do what I do. But they're actually doing the opposite of what I do, because they're going to be cooking the bodies of murder victims, the very victims that I'm speaking up for, and they're going to be doing that out the front of my house. So I'll be protesting that. That's disgusting. They're inciting violence by cooking those murder victims. This is not about me or them. It's about the trillions of animals who are brutally murdered every year for the sake of human pleasure. It's not necessary to be eating animals or animal products in this day and age.
Ben, I mean, you look. There's a direct line to you guys. You can speak to each other. Ben, feel free to speak to Tash. Tell her, is that how it's going to be? I mean, what are the things you're going to be doing while you're on the front lawn of her house here in Perth?
Well, we're going to have a big barbecue cook-up, steaks, sausages, bottles of water, everything will be provided. Anyone that wants to come along, I'm sorry there's no vegan options, Tash. If you want something cooked, feel free to bring it yourself, and we'll be more than happy to oblige. We're not trying to exclude anyone here, but this is predominantly a meat protest. People aren't going to stop eating meat no matter what you say. The meat, dairy and egg industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry across the world. The idea that you're going to have some massive effect on getting people to go vegan and eat gruel is just...
It's obviously
ridiculous.
working because you're really, really triggered, mate. You're like completely contradicting yourself. One minute you say that is good for all these businesses, and the other minute you're saying, oh, we need to shut her down. So, what one is it? It's obviously working. More people are watching Dominion because of me. I have thousands of messages from people around the world saying that they've become vegan and watched the Dominion documentary. And the world is changing, and it's time to evolve and stop being an animal abuser. And do not cook the murdered bodies of victims outside my house, or otherwise expect me to just disrupt the shit out of it.
Well, feel free if you want to disrupt the shit out of it. Feel free, go right ahead. As I said, you're more than welcome. Just please try and keep your clothes on because there's going to be kids around.
Ben,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Ben, do you sort of see the irony in what you're doing? You're saying she's not going to stop the meat industry. There's nothing Tash can do, whatever she can say. Look, I'm veggie. I don't have a problem with what Tash says. I don't necessarily agree with the way she's doing it. I would be the same about religion. I'd be the same about anything. Anyone that's too much anything and does that, I don't know that it works. But can you not see the irony in what you're doing, intentionally bringing this to her yard, into her private safe space as well, that like for no reason, you're not involved in the industry, it's got nothing to do with you, you're just doing it to poke the bear. You see how that makes you look like a bit of a dickhead?
Well, look, her way of protesting is a bad way of protesting. So instead of trying to bring people up to a higher level, let's all get on the same level. Let's play the same game as her. And if she stops her disruptive protest, we'll stop having barbecues outside our house.
So you are stooping low.
As long as we can agree that it's a bad idea.
Hang on. So you say, sorry, I get what you're saying about Ben not being in the industry. I get that. But also...
He's just saying if you can't beat him, join him. He is stooping low.
No, he is stooping low. Sure, right? But sometimes you have to feed someone their own medicine to give them an understanding of what it is that they're putting everybody else through. Like Ben...
How many of those 500 protesters do you reckon had their dinner interrupted by Tash? How many people do you think it? Just let it go.
Probably all 500 of them,
just
to be honest with you.
Just let it go.
Because they've been to Belmont, they've been to Fire, they've been to this butcher, that butcher,
lynch
those
mob
places.
Gear. You're all just jumping on board. It doesn't make it right.
My concern with all of this, and I'll tell you this, both of you, Tash and Ben, my concern with both of this and why I want both of you to just go away. Like I want both of you to go away and go and get on with your lives. My concern is that one day, one of you doing this, you're going to come across the wrong person who hasn't had enough where they just want to, come and do a barbecue on your front lawn, Tash. They've had enough where they actually want to neck you. Like that's my concern, that this is going to go somewhere ultimately dangerous, and we don't need to see that.
Mm.
Well, first and foremost,
unfortunately, that's something I'm willing to risk, because right now, in this moment as we speak, there are literally billions of animals forced into slaughterhouses, having their throats slit and babies taken away from their mothers in the dairy industry. I'm not stopping what I'm doing until this Holocaust ends, and it needs to end now. Stop paying for this to happen. If you're not vegan, you are responsible for this abuse and murder.
Sorry, Tash, I don't believe the tears. I don't believe them. I do not believe him whatsoever.
No, I don't either.
That's because you guys don't care about what she cares about. That's okay.
It's
okay.
I care about the animal cruelty.
Guilty that you have blood on your
hang on a sec. Oh, I'm just going to bring that down for a moment. Oh, boy. I think we just need to cool off for a moment.
I just don't think it's appropriate to set up something in someone's... I'm not saying that Tash interrupting people's meals at the butcher is okay, but it's not appropriate to get a bunch of strangers that, as you just said, you can't trust and you don't know what they're thinking, to go to someone's private residence and get involved in something like that. We would never encourage our kids to do it. Mm-mm. It's bullying.
Yep, and I wouldn't encourage my kids to do what Tash does either.
I don't think that two wrongs make a right.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Right. So they both need to go away. But we thank Tash and Ben. Yeah. We thank Tash and Ben for coming on the show. We appreciate it. But both of you go away.
From the school drop-off to weekend...